Anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
All right, good evening, everyone, and hopefully we got everything working here right off the bat tonight. Looks like we do as we get started for another night of racing here on the pole. Tonight we are at Daytona once again. Tonight, though, is with the Friggy Diggy Racing League as they bring us their Arca series. Making sure I got last minute things on board. Looks like we got everything rocking and rolling here tonight. Looking great. Hopefully everybody's in for a great time tonight as we get set and ready to roll for this evening as practice is winding down. We'll take us trackside just so we can run through a couple of these drivers while they're still here on the grid for practice. So tonight you'll see likes of Danny Puddin. I'm not exactly sure how to say that last name. I'm going to need help pronouncing some of these. We got Josh Cohen, the 43, currently on track. Brett Bray and Chris Lawrence, they've been working together a lot in practice. Or is it Christopher? No, I'm sorry, Christopher and Christopher was working with somebody. I'm getting my cars mixed up already, and I haven't even started the night. Well, we have the Freedom United Motorsports. They bring to us the 17, the 66, and the 77. That would be Travis, 66, which I do not see on the grid yet, and the 17, which I do not see on the grid yet either. Another team, we have BFR, Bandit Family Racing. They bring us the 00, which is Terry. We got Terry there. The 25. And the 87. 25 and the 87. I don't see those two cars either. So Bandit Family Racing and Freedom United is missing two cars out of their lineup that I can tell right now. And we have Moose Juice, I think. Moose Juice Racing with the number 14, the 54, and the 42. I saw the 42. The 54 I thought I saw. So they're both teammates right there lined up. The 54 and the 42. They're lined up getting some practice laps in. And the 14 is here. So we got a full team there. All three making it here tonight so far. I'm still waiting to see if other teams will show up. We got the 94 and the 98 going to be working together as they are Team Keystone Motorsports, co-owned by Chris Pendell and Danny. Those are the drivers of that team as well, the 94 and the 98. BS Motorsports, that will be the owner of Chris Starnes, and he's got the 9, the 43, and the 48 to work together here this evening. So we got the 9 that I don't see, the 43, which we're looking at now, and the 48 of Isaac Brook, who's sitting on pit road currently. Hopefully we get a decent turnout. We got, looks like a few more names joining in. We've got the 87, so that'll add another one to Bandit. We got the 17 as well, so that'll add to Freedom. Okay, that's Freedom United. I thought there was another one, 66 and 77. So we got 2 of Freedom United. The 17 and the 77. We're looking for the 66 to show. And we're still looking for the 8. Okay, no, 87 is here. The 25. I don't see the 25 and the 00. So we're missing one out of BFR. And we're missing one out of the Freedom United. So we'll see if they show up. There's still time. We've got about another 3 minutes here for the practice. We also want to let everyone know this is sponsored by 1% Designs, and it is sponsored by the where'd my notes go? There we go. Sponsored by Keep Digging. Keep Digging. And you can use the code Friggy Diggy at checkout and you will get 10% off of your order. Okay. I'm getting news here. Alrighty, so I guess we do have all BFR here. There was a number change that I was unaware of. So we have the 5 of Michael Wiley, the 00 of Terry Fennell, and the 87 of Jamie. They are all running in BFR. So all BFRs here. Still looks like we're looking for the 66 to join Freedom United. All of Moose Juice is also here, so they got a decent team. And I think we're still looking for the 9 for BS Motorsports. But still with a minute to go, the drivers still got time to get a little time to get in here. Hopefully they will make it. Format for tonight, we are gonna have I think if I remember correctly, sorry I didn't take the greatest of notes, we're gonna run 2 dual races, and then the main feature, I believe, if I can remember the format correctly for this evening. Sorry, it's my first time with this league, first time this league's working with me, so there might be a couple hiccups here and there throughout the night, but we're going to work through it and bring you the best action we can with 20 seconds left on the clock for our practice time here this evening. I know I don't personally do a lot of practice at the plate tracks like Daytona and Talladega because for me, 3/4 of me finishing is luck. So I don't really practice unless I'm going out with teammates to practice the draft. I don't really go out by myself too much. I don't know if others kind of feel the same way, but this right here, where you're seeing the 00, the 5, I think. Oh, great. We're going to blink out a little bit, aren't we? Oh, checkered flag. That would be why. So here we go with qualifying. We got Rick Schneider coming up first, coming out on the track in that 03. Where is my... We'll have to wait a moment to see if our qualifying marks coming to the bottom of the screen. Again, these are Arca cars, so they're the NASCAR Arca series. iRacing has them all as Chevrolets, but as I've noticed through some of the... There they come. There's the drivers coming up on the bottom of the screen now. As you see, Waylon McConnell, Rick Schneider, and Joseph Thomas right now out on track. Currently posting no times, but they will be posting times shortly as we're currently watching the 03 of Rick Schneider. That school-sponsored machine as he's trying to set a quick time here. There we go. We'll switch that over so that we can get the scores as they come in. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves so far. I know it's a little slow getting started, but we will be getting up to action here momentarily. As we see Rick Schneider getting underway here this evening. Waylon McConnell with the quick time with a 49.738. Pendle with a 49.779. Joseph Thomas there in third, posting a 49.817 currently. And then we got Previtt with a 49.848. All right, so we're all on the same page. We are doing qualifying, and if you qualify pole, you're going straight to the main race. Everybody else is going to go to duel 1 and duel 2. So right now, it looks like Rick Schneider is your top person to beat there on the top of the podium board right now. As everybody's trying to battle their way in. As we see Danny Puddin right now trying to make some laps. And it looks like Cole came in with a 49.547. And well, we're getting some really quick times here with Alex Tilley taking over the pole position with a 49.496. So some quick times being laid down here. Everybody seems to be within a margin of each other, which is always great to see, especially here at Daytona. You know it's going to be great, action-packed. Haven't really called Arca races myself too much. Haven't really raced Arca, but I understand they are fun and a ton of fun to drive. So we should be in for a treat here this evening as we currently see the 98 of Danny Puddin finishing out his lap here. Currently going to put himself on the tower at about 13th. And we have Jamie coming in at in the 8th position. 42 of Christopher coming into 12th. Chris Lawrence is trying to make something happen. He's in the number 54 this evening. Currently sitting 17th. So Brett Bray will be moving on. Well, let's see here. Let's make sure I get this right. We'll get you know here shortly about who moved on here. So this is your qualifying. So Alex Tilley will move on straight to the main race here this evening with Freedom United Motorsports in that number 17 machine. Now on to your your duel number 1 will be Brett Bray starting on pole, Josh Coulson second, Rick Schneider there in third, Travis in fourth, Waylon McConnell there in fifth, Terry Fennell in sixth, Jamie Stevens in seventh. 8th position will be starting. 8th position will be starting Ryan Robertson. Joseph Thomas will be rolling off at 9th. Josh Pavitt will be rolling off in 10th. Christopher Puglish will be in 11th. Christopher Pendle in 12th. A little farther back here, as we got a full field here, I believe, for duel number 1, starting in 13th, will be Danny. Isaac Brook in 14th. Michael Willie there in 15th. Chris Lawrence in 16th. Jaden Wicks will roll off in 17th. Matthew Semple will be in 18th. And Daniel Scruggs will be rolling off in 19th. All right, you want to play hardball here, do you? There we go. So in just a short moment, we will get these cars rolling and underway. As you see the pace cars start to leave pit road, everybody's going to start to leave the pit side by side, get everybody lined up, and we will be ready for green flag racing here at Daytona for duel number 1 to start the season here for the Friggy Diggy Arca Series. Here with the Friggy Diggy Racing League. 15 laps is the distance. We got 19 or 20 cars. It looks like we got 19 cars. I think. Oh, nope. 17 cars on track. I'm sorry. Joe Tardif, Chris Lawrence, and Matthew Semple did not take the grid. All right, we're getting word that there was a little mix-up with the racing format tonight. We are having one duel. So we're not going to have 2 duels. We're having one duel here, and that is this 15-lap race right now for the Friggy Diggy duel. As we get set and ready to roll, that pace car is off the speedway. Green flag is out there, down and away. 15 laps is the distance, like I said. Brett out to a great start. Josh Cole out on his outside. Side by side as we come down into corner number 1. The 03 there in third. Going to make a pass there on the inside. That inside lane going to try to prevail early here in this dual race as we see the 77 Cat Machine up on the outside. That is Travis out there pushing the likes of the 43 of Josh Cole. Wait, I'm sorry. Josh Cole might be on the inside there. As I try to get this. Nope, 43 is up top. Okay, I was correct in that. So we got the 77 of Travis and Josh Cole in the 43 up top with the 66 of Ryan Robertson there in 6th position, all out on the outside. That bottom lane is your number 17 of Brett Bray. But on the scoreboard, he's number 60. So we'll have to make sure the drivers keep track of that for next week. Can get a little confusing for one for me, and two for the viewers. Sometimes that can create a little bit of confusion when you're looking for your favorite driver. Waylon McConnell now is up to 6th, was up to 5th, but now has dropped back. That's as quickly as things can happen here at Daytona. You think you're making some headway, and then all of a sudden you're drifting backwards as we see the 17 of Brett Bray falling back now to 3rd position as that top side starting to work together with that. With the cars on the outside, you'll see the 43 of Josh Cole lead that lap with the 77 of Travis right behind them, with the 66 of Ryan Robertson right behind them. Now the 77's thinking about going to the inside, but it's going to think otherwise and stay to the top side behind the 43 of Josh Cole as we come rolling through the corner onto the backstretch. Side by side they are. A little bit of dicey-ness there out of the 77. I guess a little bit of uncertainness if he wanted to go low in front of the 17 or not. And that, again, that's the 17 of Brett Bray, 60 on your scoreboard. Rick Schneider in 4th, now back to 5th as the outside lane starts to come together with the 48 of Isaac Brook up there trying to push the likes of the 9 machine. I believe it's the 9 machine. Yeah, the 94. Trying to work through real close to that outside wall. We're roaring through corners again. Down the backstretch. We have Josh Cole out there in front. Travis there in 2nd in that Caterpillar 77 machine. Brett Bray on the bottom side being pushed along by the 03 of Rick Schneider. Ryan Robertson on the outside in that 66, helping on that outside lane. Everybody still looking side by side as we're getting some diciness through the back of the pack there as you see them dive from top to bottom, trying to figure out which lane they want to try to move themselves up through the pack here early going to the Daytona race night with the Friggy Diggy Arca Series. Out front, it is Josh Cole. Now this is going to be for that 2nd position. So who wins this will actually be starting 2nd. And the grid will format from there. So this is from 2nd on back. So how they finish here is how they'll start the main race here this evening. And we have the 43 of Josh Cole leading another lap there. Now he's on the inside, the outside lane, trying to get something together with the 77 of Travis out on front. Out up there on point with the 66 66 of Ryan Robertson right behind him. Now the inside line's getting a little bit more of a work together here as they come down the backstretch. Looks like there's some problems with the spoiler on the one car, unless that's just how it looks like to me. With a white car, I noticed, I thought might have had some spoiler issues, but I could be completely wrong. Could be just the way the paint made it look. As the outside lane is still trying to work together, trying to get something built up, where all the momentum right now seems to be on that inside lane, being led by Josh Cole, Brett Bray, then Rick Schneider, Travis there in 4th position down there on the bottom, And then we start 2 wide as the 66 of Brian Robertson tries to make something happen. He's now up towards the front. We got the 77 dropping to the inside, letting the 22 on up through. I'm trying to figure out who the 22 is. Caution is out. We got... All right, Jaden Wicks. We'll see here what happened to Jaden Wicks coming off of corner number 2. Gets turned, it looks like, ends up collecting the 14. The 69 and the 14 come together, and problems lie for those two drivers in the early goings of their Daytona night here with the Friggy Diggy Racing League. These are the Friggy Diggy Arca Series as we get rolling yet again. Hopefully, everybody can get lined back up pretty easily. As you see, the lights are on that Mustang out there in front, the iRacing pace car. Everybody's coming up, joining up with the pace car. You got Josh Cole out front, Brett Bray in second, Rick Schneider in third, Brian Roberts fourth, Christopher Pendell there in fifth, Terry Fennell there in sixth, Isaac Brook in the 48 will be rolling in seventh. Jamie is, I got him down as the 87, but he's rolling around in the number 22 Caterpillar machine. I was trying to figure out who was rolling around in that 22 Caterpillar machine, and I didn't see any 22 on my grid, so I knew there had to be a little bit of mistake there. We'll get that worked out coming into the next races, I'm sure. As we got one taker on the pit road, we got a couple takers. Josh Cole, Rick Schneider, Brett Bray, Terry Fennell, Waylon McConnell, Jaden Wicks, Chris Lawrence, Travis, all coming in the pit road for a little bit of work here early. I should say later here in this Dole race, as we got 7 laps to go. Ryan Robertson out front. So we're under caution here from Daytona with about 6 laps to go. We want to make sure we're getting a shout out to our sponsors. We want to definitely thank the... oh, crap. We definitely want to thank where'd it go now? Definitely want to thank Keep Digging. And if you go to Keep Digging, use the code Friggy Diggy at the checkout to get your 10% off. We also want to give a shout out to 1% Designs here this evening as they are helping bring this league of Friggy Diggy to you here this wonderful Sunday evening. Hope everybody enjoyed the NASCAR race that was earlier today. Pretty great race in there. Larson taking home the win after winning both stages. A great job by him. We'll go back trackside now, as we should be getting ready to line up for the green flag. We got Joe Tardif in the pit lane in the number 1 machine. He's a few laps down. He's on his way out. Lights are out on the pace car. And like I said, these cars were mainly Chevrolets, is what iRacing has the Arca car as. But as you see the lights on that 22 machine. There's a Toyota emblem. Our second place driver is trying to make it look like disguise the Chevrolet as the Ford Taurus. So interesting job these painters are doing, trying to make these cars a little bit more appealing than just having all the same make running against each other. Great job on the painters to really help change it up. Now we're coming out of 2. Everybody's lined up, getting set and ready to roll. Long pace laps here at Daytona. All right, we will be seeing the pace car leave the track. And the field of 19 comes back roaring to life as they come back towards that blue Geico restart zone that's painted on the speedway. The pace car rolls off. They're in the restart box. They're down and away. Robertson gets a great restart there out front for that front position. Everybody trying to get those cars wound up and up to speed as they come roaring down into corner number 1. The 48 of Isaac Brook working hard on that inside lane. That inside lane coming alive a little bit right now. Leaving the 94 of Christopher Pendle there on the high side, high and dry, but the 28/87 of Jamie is going to come up to join him and hopefully try to work together to get up towards the front as we're seeing side-by-side racing start to happen. 5 laps to go here in the duel race as they head down into corner number 3 and 4, side-by-side for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And side-by-side, we got the 24 way up in the wall. But I'm not seeing a 24 on my roster. Alrighty. It looked like a 24 machine anyway. As we're looking back through the pack, we still got Christopher Pendle up here fighting for that lead, as he will have it in that number 94 with Robertson right behind him, pushing him hard. Down through corner number 3 and 4, side by side they go, roaring all to life here at Daytona. We got the 94 out front of Christopher Pendle, Ryan Robertson there in 2nd, Isaac Brook in 3rd. Here comes Robertson going to the outside lane, going to try to make something happen, and we got a caution on the front stretch. Car into the wall. That will be Josh Cole, I believe, getting turned up into the outside. No, that is not Josh Cole. That will be. Let me see if I can find out who that was that ended up getting. Oh, we're not going to tell me, are we? Could be be the 42 of Christopher. Coming down the front stretch. That's what I'm trying to see there. I thought the 43 of Josh Cole was involved in that a little bit. As you'll watch, right in front of Josh Cole, right there in that black car, turns the 54 up into the wall. The 00 gets underneath, comes back down into the 14, and collects the 42 of Christopher as well. Tough, hard racing there for the finish in Dole 1. That's going to bring us to 3 laps to go. Green-white checker here for the Dole. Possibly. I'm not exactly sure how this will work. But the 66, Robertson, out front for Freedom United Motorsports. And that Prilosec painted machine. He's got the 94 of Christopher Pendle, who is with Keystone Motorsports behind him, who's going to be starting his outside. The 48 from BS Motorsports. Isaac Brook will be starting in 3rd, so no teammates really up here in the front 3. teammates gotten together, though, that as I'm looking through here, the 54, the 42, and the 14 all involved in that last caution. All teammates of Moose Juice Racing. So tough break for Moose Juice as they come to an end here in the duels. Hopefully the main race will let them turn out to be a little better as we get ready, get them set back ready for the green flag as lights are still on the pace car. We got one coming around. That was... I'm trying to see who was coming around. Okay, so the 5 is the 25. DuPont Chevrolet. Looks like there's a little bit of right front damage on that machine. Michael Wiley. Oh, quick rundown. We got Robertson out front. Bell Pendle there in second. Brooke third. Privet there in fourth. Jamie in fifth. Danny sixth. Joseph Thomas in seventh. Rick Schneider there in eighth. Brett Bray has fallen back to ninth. Travis is rolling around in 10th. Jaden Wicks in 11th. Michael Wiley there in 12th. Terry Fennell in 13th. Chris Lawrence in 14th. Josh Cole 15th. Daniel Scruggs 16th. Waylon McConnell there in 17th. Cardiff and Christopher both in pit lane right at the, as it stands right now. Lights are out. We will be green next time by for the green-white checker here at Daytona for Dole. As we get set to roll here, we are looking at a green-white checkered and the Dole race here at Daytona. Cardiff coming back out on the track. Trying to get some laps under his belt and get ready for the main event here this evening. Again, 2 laps to go here in the Friggy Diggy Arca Series Dole race of the evening here at Daytona. Pace car is off. We are going to be down and away as they come to that Geico restart zone. Through the trio where they come, Robertson gets another great restart as he is down and away on that inside lane. Christopher Pendle's trying to keep up with him on that outside lane, but here comes Brooke fighting back on that bottom side. Robertson gets down but ends up going back up as he has a run going through corner 1. No help though. Can he make it stick as the 48? Brooke is going to go with him. The high side now has the help with the 94, the 48 and the 51 all on the outside right now as Robertson falls back to 4th. Freight train on the outside by these 3 drivers. Now the 51 dives down below the 48. Trying to make something happen here in the closing laps as we got 2 laps to go. Hopefully no cautions. When they take the white flag, the next flag will end the race as we got one scraping the wall out of corner 4. To the triangle they come. White flag is out. Problems there down in the front stretch. We got the 2 Caterpillar cars down on the inside lane. That is going to wrap it up. Unfortunately, it will end under caution. So I got to try to dive this down and figure out who won that. So it looks like we have Josh Previtt in the fires, Christopher Pendle there in 2nd, Isaac Brook in 3rd, Ryan Robertson 4th, Brett Bray in 5th, Travis there in 6th, Jamie Stevens 7th, Rick Schneider 8th, Joseph Thomas 9th, Jaden Wicks 10th, Terry Fennell there in 11th, Chris Lawrence in 12th. Waylon McConnell there in 13th, Michael Wiley there in 14th, Josh Cole 15th, Daniel Scruggs 16th, Danny in 17th. And we have Joe Tardif 18th, Christopher in 19th, and Matthew Semple there in 20th. We'll get the grid underway here for the main event for the evening. Starting on pole is going to be Alex Tilley with Josh Previtt there to his outside, Christopher Pendle starting 3rd, Isaac Brook in 4th, Ryan Robertson 5th, Brett Bray in 6th, Travis there in 7th, Jamie Stevens there in 8th, Rick Schneider in 9th. Rolling off in 10th is going to be Joseph Thomas. In 11th is Jaden Wicks, Terry Fennell in 12th. 13th, Chris Lawrence, 14th, Waylon McConnell. Michael Wiley there in 15th, Josh Cole in 16th, Daniel Scruggs 17th, Danny in 18th, Joe Cardiff there in 19th, Christopher in 20th, and Matthew Semple will roll off in 21st. Now, from what I'm looking at, Christopher possibly missed the grid along with Travis. Travis now coming out onto the track, I believe. But I believe Christopher missed the start. And Matthew Semple did not grid either. Come on, you. Would you do what you're supposed to? Get the car. Somebody talk to my cameraman. He's not giving me the looks of the cars here. Everybody's single file right at the moment. We're going to be going green this time by. Everybody's doubled up. Alex Tilley there is your pole sitter. Josh Previtt there in 2nd was your winner there in the Dole. We're set to go 100 laps here this evening. For the Friggy Diggy Racing League, the Friggy Diggy Arca Series here from Daytona. Should be in for one heck of a race here, as this is the first race of the season. Pace car looks like it will peel off. We are set to take the green flag. Alex Tilley out there in front in that Reese's machine. As they are green flag down and away. Chris is going to have to wait until the pace car... Okay, we're going to bring him back out. Caution flag is back out. That's going to let Chris line up with the grid here. Sorry for the delay of getting rolling here in the Friggy Diggy Arca Series. Again, we want to thank our sponsor of 1% Designs and Keep Digging. And when you're on Keep Digging, check and at checkout, be sure to enter Friggy Diggy to get your 10% off. Heck happened to Alex? Getting bars up here showing that he crashed somehow, but I'm not seeing anything wrong with the car at the moment. Interesting. Hopefully just one more time around and we will be set for green flag racing from Daytona to bring you the Friggy Diggy Racing League Arca Series here this evening. Oh, we got 2 more laps here because the lights are still on the pace car. Everyone's still lined up single file, so they're not ready to go green yet. They are not doubled up. That is one thing with the iRacing simulator, is that is another way besides the lights going out on the pace vehicle. If you see the drivers doubled up, double file, that is another indicator that we are 1 to green. Otherwise, they will stay lined up single file, and that allows for the lucky dog to come around on the outside. If everybody's paying attention enough, everybody should be on the inside except for the lucky dog who will be coming high. The light's still on the pace vehicle. Out of turn 4. Everything getting situated. In the restart zone, they will hopefully double file up. There we are. 5-1 to green. They will double up this time. We'll be underway here for this 100-lap Arca race. Are they going to start single file? Well, this is interesting. I think we're going to have a single file restart here. On the back stretch. Green flag finally out as we are down and underway finally here with the Friggy Diggy Arca Series main event here. As we come shooting down into corner number 1. Side by side, single pop most of the way back. As we got Alex Tilley and Josh Privet there leading the charge. Out on that inside lane, the 17 and the 51. And we got the 94 of Christopher Pendle with Isaac Brook rolling up there in 3rd and 4th. Jamie Brett Bray also rolling there in 5th and 6th. As we got the 87 of Jamie going to the outside. No help yet in that 22 Caterpillar machine. Side by side now for that 4th place. He now gets a nose in front. There comes the outside line. The outside line starting to come alive a little bit with the leader on that outside lane being that 87/22 of Jamie. Josh Privet there on the inside trying to push that 94, but the 48 of Isaac Brook out there on the outside pushing as hard as he can to get that outside lane moving in the proper direction as they got company coming back behind them. That looks to be the 22 or 21 of Joseph Thomas. 21 of Joseph Thomas out there on the outside with the 03 of Rick Schneider. Right behind him, we got the 66 of Ryan Robertson down there on the inside lane, pushing the 17. There's 2 17s on track now. It's going to get confusing. That's the 94 at 17 of Brett Bray, I think. As the other 17 is the actual 17 on the scoreboard of Alex Tilley. Brett Bray is in the black number 17, rolling around there in about the 7th position underneath the low side of Rick Schneider and Ryan Robertson right behind him. Hopefully Team Moose Juice will have a better run here throughout this main event than what they did through the Dole. As looks like we've got them going 3 wide, going down in the corner number 1. They will sort it out before they get there. That's the 77 of Travis going to the outside, getting up behind Rick Schneider on that high side as they keep rolling here through on the lap 7. The 48, or I'm sorry, the 69 rather, of Jaden Wicks, pushing along on the outside lane, looking to see if he can go and get something happening there. Sorry for that little bit of a glitch out. Now 54 on the bottom side, going to try to see if he can find a hole. If not, he's going to just sink it back down there on the inside lane. Side by side racing, clear through the pack. Alex Tilley, still your race leader with Jamie there in second. Now Josh pulls alongside there on the bottom side, pulling up to that bumper, trying to make it happen. As we head down into corner number 3, off on the backstretch, it is still going to be Alex Tilley out front with Jamie right there in second. Josh Previtt there in third, trying to get it to work. Isaac Brook in fourth, now fifth, as the outside lane still trying to get something formed up, as it looks like we might have somebody thinking about a third lane up there on that way high line, but they're thinking better of it at the moment. Still a lot of racing left to go. Don't want to try to get too racy at this point in time, as everybody's still side by side. Nobody really pushing 3 wide at the moment right now. There's no really need to, since there is 100 laps and we're only about 10 laps in. Off a corner number 2, down the backstretch they go. Side by side, the 22 of Jamie still out there on that outside lane. 48 of Isaac Brook right behind him. On that inside lane, it is Alex Taylor, Josh Privet, and the 94 of Christopher Pendle fighting for position there on the inside lane. The 03 Rick Schneider's trying to form up there on the outside lane in that Skull Bandit machine. There's the FFA machine of the 48, Isaac Brook, as he's trying to battle his way into the top position out here on the outside lane. Can kind of see how squirrely the cars can feel at times as he bobs up and down trying to get that run down the backstretch. Pushed up there on the bumper of the 87 of Jamie. Everybody side by side all through the pack. Nobody really pushing too terribly hard at this moment in time. The 51 and 17 still battling hard on the inside lane, keeping that inside lane moving with the 94 of Christopher Pendle right behind them. Now it looks like the 77 might be thinking about that outside lane. As we come down into corner number 1, the 77 way up on the high side. We might see our first action of 3 wide here going into corner number 1. With Travis on the outside up against that wall. Oh, hold on to it, don't get too loose. As now he had to get out of the throttle, drop back in behind Schneider, that Rick Schneider machine, that 03 on that outside lane. But he's not giving up as he goes 3 wide again on the back stretch, putting the 03 of Schneider and the 43, or I'm sorry, no, the 17 of Brett Bray together as the 77 brushed that outside wall along with the 69 of Jaden Wicks. Now he gets pushed back into the wall, coming through the tri-oval. They had to back out of it again as they come down into corner number 1. Really trying to push hard to get through this traffic. As the 22 gets loose, bad push off of the 48. And now the 48's trying to force his way up to that bumper of the 87. So we have the 87 and the 22 at the moment, or the 87 and the 22 is who again? Jamie in the 87. And then you got the 77 back a little bit farther. So they're two. The Caterpillar guys are on 2 separate teams. That's what I was just trying to check out for us here. The 87, or the 22 rather, is on Team BFR. The 77 Caterpillar machine is on Freedom United Motorsports. as we're 3 wide. The 22 gets hung up on the outside lane. He's going to end up being dropped to the back now as that outside lane works and gets around him. The 22 back up into that outside wall yet again. Or I'm sorry, not again, but because it was a 77 that was getting into that outside wall quite a bit earlier. Now he's got to fight back. We got the 15, the 14, the 14, the 45, and the 42 all on the same team. I don't know if they're lined up together much as of yet, but they are trying. Everybody's trying to work through these first few laps, trying to at least get to halfway without much calamity here at Daytona. As we know, Daytona can breed the cautions and the big one. As now we got the 54 looking to the inside, coming down, riding that double yellow line, coming down into corner number 3. The 17 of Alex Tilley still out front. Brett Bray out there on the outside lane, and the other number 17 trying to make something happen. He is number 60 on your scoreboard. Josh Pendle will be in the 94 on that inside lane as company now 3 wide as they put Bray 3 wide coming down to corner number 1. Has to sink back in line, and 4th car back on that outside lane. He gets back into that outside wall. That opens the door for the 77 of Travis to get by as they come through 3 and 4. 1 and 2 side by side down the backstretch. Yeah, that FFA machine of Isaac Brooks looking really good out on that high side. Coming down into corner number 3 with the Rick Schneider there behind him in that 4th position. Could be going 3 wide there. Little tight. There's the caution as people are around, and the 48 gets picked up into the air. The 21 up the track. The 48 gets picked up again and slammed hard into that wall. Driver at 48, Isaac Brook, really didn't have much choice of where he was being taken, as he wasn't on the ground much through all that. So we'll take a look at it coming off of corner 3, or corner 2 rather. There you see the 48 get picked up. He has no control where that car is going. We got the 66. I believe it's a 66. Where is he on my score? Yeah, Ryan Robertson. He's going backwards down the backstretch. There, the 48 gets picked up again by the 98. Spun around like a top on the roof. Ends up, 98 gets slammed into the outside wall. Car's still trying to make it through. Gets more contact in behind them. Down on the inside lane there with... And Michael Willie going to play it safe and go down pit road as this all happened out of 4 down into the tri-oval. Cars through the grass trying to find a way around all this mess. So we'll see it happen as they come out of 4. Everybody side by side here. And it's just a problem. And 98 really had no clue what was going on, had no clue really how to maneuver through that. As there you see them all come up the track, 94 pushing them up the track, the 66 gets spun backwards, ends up going backwards a ways, down through the triangle, the 48 gets picked up there, ends up getting spun around. As the 66 gets picked up a little bit, there comes the 23 sliding, or the 21 rather, sliding up the track. The 94 pushing the 48, getting a nice little nudge. The 98 comes along, nowhere really to go. We'll see if we can get an onboard shot with the 98 as he's trying to navigate through this wreck. Where's my onboard shot? So we're on board here with the 98. He's going to see all this happen in front of him. He sees a bunch of smoke. Should have probably let out of it, but he doesn't, and slams right into the 48. That's going to be interesting for the race controller to see. As we're coming down through here, he gets into that outside wall. Everybody starts checking up. The 98 probably could have saved a little bit if they wouldn't have plowed right through there full throttle. Unfortunate break for some of these drivers early in this one. I don't not know if they have fast repairs or not. We will find that out for next week. But as you see, there's some problems there with the 15 and the 66 as they come together. There's Bray trying to work his way through, ends up getting into the back of the 69 almost as he dives the pit road, trying to avoid accidents. He's going to slam on the brakes, try to get it checked up in time so he doesn't get a speeding penalty, but I don't think that's going to work. The 94 gets hit again. The 48 comes sliding back down the track. Tough break as you see all the cars scatter from Tri-Oval to pit road. About 3-4 of them through the grass. Tough break. On lap 18. Cars in the pits getting worked on. Apparently you got Terry Fennell in the pits getting on his way out. You got Danny Puddin in the pits in the number 98 machine. Lights are out on the pace car, so we're going to end up going green here. When they come out of 4 next time by. Lap 18 of 100. Joe Tardif moved up into 4th position. He's up 15 spots from the start of this race. Currently sitting in that 4th position. Tough luck for Christopher Pendle. He's down 14 spots since the start of this race, as Alex Tilley, your pole sitter, is still out front leading the charge as they get a great restart there. Travis getting on the bumper there as they come out of the Tri-Oval. That's going to move him up into that 2nd position, and the 54 is going to drop in behind him. The 69 of Jaden Wicks, he's going to go to the bottom side there. It's 2 by 2 behind the first 2 cars as they come down through the backstretch. We got the one of Joe Tardif on the outside getting squeezed up. Last time somebody got squeezed up, we ended up with Calamity coming down through the corner. We got the 69-1 brushing the wall there right behind the 1 machine. I'm trying to get a lock on that number as he's now definitely in the wall. Gets picked up in the air. More problems for the 22 as the 54 goes for a ride up and over. Trying to see who he went up and over. Well, here we go. Coming into corner number 3. Looks like the 20 or the 54 just gets tight, pushes up into that outside wall. The 51 of Josh Previtt getting a little bit of a ride there on the front edge. Bray barely squeezing by. Up and over on that 15 machine goes the 54 on top of the safer barrier. The fence does a good job of keeping them in play as we have another wreck here. This will be our 2nd caution. Oh, our 3rd caution. We technically had 1 at the beginning of the race. Unsure exactly what provoked it. I don't know if there was a trash bag or debris on the racetrack. Race controls called off the very start of the race as we got them coming to pit road here at lap 20. Travis, Jaden, Alex, Rick, Daniel, Brett, Jamie, Josh Cole, Josh Previtt, Isaac Brook, Christopher, all coming down pit road as it stands right now. See if we got anybody that stayed out. Looks like we got Joe Tardif stayed out. Joseph Thomas stayed out. Terry Fennell stayed out. Daniel Scruggs. Rick Schneider. Trying to see. Oh, I'm sorry. Joe Tardif, Joseph Thomas, and Terry Fennell are the three that stayed out. Chris Lawrence, I believe, stayed out as well. Unsure about that, as it's showing him pitting on lap 19, so I'm a little unsure on that. Like I said, once again, the lights are on the pace vehicle as we get them lined back up here for another restart, as we're about a fifth of the way through this one here this evening. So everybody gets lined back up. I think the laps count. I'll see that here as they cross the start-finish line, if they count or not. Caution laps do count. The lights are off on the pace car now. We are going to get them double file back up. Get ready to rock and roll yet again here at Daytona International Speedway as Joe Tardif is your control car in that front position, with Joseph Thomas to his outside and that number 21, Terry Fennell, there on the inside. Second row in that 00. Now the first car with fresh tires, and that will be Daniel Scruggs on the outside lane in that number 14 from Moose Juice Racing. So they're having a little bit better run at the moment from where they ended the Doles. Joe Tardif is having a wonderful race, as he is our biggest mover so far, up 18 spots. Daniel Scruggs is up 13. Christopher Pugliese is up 10 or 11 spots. Christopher Pendle is down 9 or 10. Isaac Brook down 13, and Jamie has lost 12 since the start of this race. Hopefully they can improve some of these positions as the race goes on here this evening. Side by side as they roll through corner 3 and 4. Hopefully everybody's enjoying. Hopefully everybody can hear everything okay. As we're set side by side, coming through up corner number 4. That pace car is going to make that hard left-hand corner turn down on the pit road as we get set to go green flag racing again. Here at Daytona, there he goes. Pace car is off. They are in the restart zone. Joe Tardif doesn't spin the tires, does a great job getting that car rolling. Since he pitted on lap 16, he's got a few lap older tires, but shouldn't bother him too much, as it's about a 4-lap difference. Terry Fennell pitted 1 lap after on lap 17, so he's got 1 lap pressure. And then we got them all piling in here who just come out of the pits. So it's going to be interesting to see how these tires affect as we come down into corner number 3. Side-by-side racing. We've got the 00 leading that outside lane. That is Terry Fennell. We got Joe Tardif on the inside lane through 3 and 4. It's going to be that inside lane that's going to prevail a little bit with Joe Tardif down there on the inside. Rick Schneider down on the inside as well with the 77 Travis right behind him. On the outside, you got the 00 Terry Fennell. Joseph Thomas there in the number 21 pushing along, and he's got the 51 at his back of Josh Previtt. 77 thinking about jumping in that outside lane, does so down the backstretch. Problems there for one driver as now the 3 jumps to the high side, and the 77 thought about going back to the bottom but decides against it, goes back to the high side. At the high side's got the momentum coming through turns 3 and 4 at the moment. 17 jumps up high. We got Alex Tilley jumping up there in that 3rd position on the outside row. Rick Schneider now is your leader. He just pulls in front of Joe Tardif as that outside lane's coming alive. We got the 77 of Travis leading the outside lane with against Joe Schneider on the inside lane. Joe Tardif right behind Rick. And they fire off onto the backstretch. Side by side. As they keep rolling, a little bit dicey there. You can see the cars squirreling a little bit. Drivers trying to keep them all in line, keep that draft together. And it looks like Travis is getting a little bit more of a push off of that high side than Rick is on the bottom side. Down through the triangle. Little diciness there from the 77. They are going to be side by side coming through the triangle, but it's going to be Rick Schneider leading that lap. Rick Schneider there in that 1st position, side by side, still fighting for that 2nd spot. There's the 77 of Travis. Joe Tardif on them little bit older tires, fighting real hard down there on that inside lane. Don't seem to be hurting him too bad as he's right up on the bumper of Rick Schneider as they come down through 3 and 4. The 14 right behind them, that is the 14 of Daniel Scruggs, right behind Joe Tardif. In behind Daniel Scruggs is the 51 who gives him a shove. Down through the tri-oval for another time as we're on lap 27. We are a quarter of the way through this race. Over a quarter of the way through this race, I should say, as we thought about 3 wide there from the 17 of Alex Tilley. Thought better against it now as we come down the backstretch. Still side by side, trying to get that side draft to work off of those lower cars. As they come down into corner number 3, it will be the 77 kind of leading by a short nose. But Rick is fighting hard on the bottom side. As they come out of 4, that inside lane looks like it prevails a little bit. Is that top side going to be able to pull together? As they drop the car on that inside lane, that's going to give the outside lane the momentum. As the 51 moves to the high side, that's going to allow them to push their way forward a little bit more and give the lead to Travis. But here comes the bottom lane, not giving up. As Rick Schneider on the inside lane, trying to make something happen. Side by side, drag race down the backstretch. Travis out front. Alex in 2nd. I'm sorry, Alex is in 3rd, and that Reese is number 17. Rick is in 2nd, trying to fight his way back to the lead. And that bottom lane prevails yet again, as that top side lane got a little bit unorganized. Side by side across the stripe, it is going to be Rick as your leader. Travis in 2nd. Very, very tight racing going on right now through 1 and 2. The excitement's only going to pick up higher as the race goes on. And we got a caution. We throw it again on the backstretch. Big one here at Daytona. Terry Fennell involved. Brett Bray may be involved. Whalen trying to squeeze his way through there. Pendle, Wicks, Cole all involved. Puddin just coming around to it. Same with Jamie. Well, they'll be spared a little bit as we have the caution flag come out for a fourth time. Let's see if we can see what happens. We know what happens up front as they stack up there on the outside. It looks like the 17 of Alex gets turned. And then it just stacks everybody up from there. The 17 goes over onto the side, does not completely go off over end on end, but definitely takes a wild ride for that 17. And the 69 going underneath of another car. I'm trying to see who that was. The 48 involved, trying to get it straightened back out after being a problem. Everybody scattering, trying to make it through this accident here on the backstretch. So from another angle, you got Josh Privet there in the 51. He's in trouble. The 17 of Alex, he's in trouble. The 17 of Bray in trouble. The 66 getting tagged. There comes the 48. I'm trying to figure out if the 48 gets through and just is trying to collect it back up. We'll go on board with the 48 of Isaac Brook just to see. He sees it all happen. A little bit bump there. Not, whoa, boy. Those are close calls. Not sure if he touches at all coming through there, but you can see how fast things happen in front of him. He gets it collected back together again. I'm not sure. He might have some right rear damage on that machine. Definitely has some there on the left side, right at the numbers. Lap 31 of 100. Hope everybody's enjoying the race as we are bringing it to you live here this evening, this Sunday evening, from the Friggy Diggy Arca series with the Friggy Diggy Racing League presented by Keep Digging. And if you go to Keep Digging's website, be sure to use the promotion code of Friggy Diggy for 10% off at checkout. Be sure to make sure you do that. We also want to give shout out to the 1% Designs, as they also do a great job supporting this league. The lights are still on the pace vehicle as we round through the triangle once more. Lights go off this time by 1 lap to green. Side-by-side racing here on backstretch as we come out of going into corner number 1, I'm sorry. Heading to the backstretch as we get everybody lined up. It is going to be Travis as your control car with Rick Schneider to his outside. We're seeing lots of wrecks. We're seeing also great racing as well. I didn't realize how easy it was to get these cars up into the air. As the way these cars are designed, they're just picking the cars up in front of them and just kind of tossing them like a toy. I didn't realize they were that light, and 2, I didn't realize the back ends were just... Or the back ends were designed like that to where the front of the cars just pick them up and over top they go. So definitely bringing us some interesting racing as we get ready for the green flag as they're rolling through 3 and 4 now. Hope everybody's enjoying the broadcast here by Flicker Farm TV on the pole. Normally we have a race on Monday nights, but unfortunately this week we will not be doing that. We have prior commitments to something other that came up within the family, so I will not be broadcasting tomorrow night. But we will be back Wednesday night to bring you from Lernerville the Roughneck Racing is the one that I canceled because of a funeral I have to go to. Wednesday night is the Hi Mom Lens Super Dirt Series. There we go. Got it now. From Lernerville, where they're tri-track modified. But here at Daytona, we are side-by-side racing once again. Down in the corner number 1, side-by-side. It is going to be Travis that's going to prevail on that bottom side with the 14 behind him of Daniel Scruggs pushing on that inside lane. That inside lane a little bit more united now than what the top lane is, but that may change as they are trying to get it to work together. Outside lane now comes together very quickly as they exit 2. The 14 now goes to the lead with the 75 behind him. That's Waylon McConnell. I might have been calling that a 15, but I'm sorry about that if I was. That is a 75. Waylon McConnell. We got Alex Tilley still up there battling after that mishap he had in that last caution. Side by side through the tri-oval. Down towards corner number 1. It is side-by-side racing still. Everybody trying for position as we come off to the 75 looking high, but it's going to dive back in behind the 14 of Scruggs. McConnell out there and behind Scruggs, followed by the 03, and it looks like we have problems in the back. Isaac Scruggs off track. The 00 getting through. We got Christopher Pugliese there in the 42 involved. But we gotta see what kind of went on here. I saw drivers pushing, having a little bit of trouble down here on the backstretch. Looks like the 48 just got up under there, took the air off of the 42 and sent him around down through the infield. And then I'm not sure exactly what happened to the 48. The 48 has the same problem, I think, from back behind him. Oh no, he gets tacked from the outside when the 94. And I'm trying to see who that pink machine is. The 94, and trying to figure this out now. 98. The 94 and the 98 get together on the outside. The 94 gets picked up. The 98 ends up coming down, collects the 48, sends him down into the infield grass, coming down into corner number 3. As the 42 of Christopher ends up backwards down here on the inside. Now he's got to get that fired up, turned back around, and back rolling again in that keep digging machine. So once again, under caution here at Daytona. This is our 5th caution of the evening. The 75 going to pit lane. No, he decides to pick him out. We do have Jaden Wicks, Christopher Pendle, Danny Puddin, and Joe Tardif, Josh Previtt, Josh Cole, Isaac Brook, and Christopher Pugliese all coming in the pit lane to get some work done on their machines. Please bear with us, as this is usually how seasons start. You usually have calamity in your first race or two. As this I'm aware of, I've been a part of broadcasting and driving in season openers, and I must say I am getting better at racing truck. I'm mainly racing truck. I'm getting better at it on Friday nights. check me out on Nazareth 360 Racing Network. I will be running the number 14 machine on those nights. You can find them in the Nazareth playlist here on Playground Farm TV. Still, we want to give a shout out to Keep Diggin. If you're in there, if you're going to use their services, please check out with the promo code Friggy Diggy to get 10% off your order. Lights are on the pace car. They are side by side, stacking up again. Getting ready for another restart here on lap 38 is what it will be when they take the green flag. Packed up side by side, ready to roll. Green flag back in the air. We are down and away on lap 38 of 100 to get things rolling yet again. Travis out to a great start with Alex Tilley right there behind him. Great start there on the inside lane. The 66 of Ryan Robertson really pushing hard up there as they climb the banking into corner number 1. The high side, all the cars right now, all single file as the low side's trying to get something to form together. We got the 75 there of Waylon McConnell there in the 75, and the sixth position as they come through 3 and 4 side by side. It is going to be the bottom lane that is going to prevail as the cat cars now get side by side coming through the triangle. They're going to the 22 is going to push the 14 to the front. As we got the 66 and the 17 now up here working together on that high side. They are teammates out there on that high side. Wait a moment. Let me scratch that. We got the Freedom Unlimited Motorsports team up there 1, 2, 3 on the outside lane. They are all working together at the moment, trying to get themselves up into that podium positions as we work through 3 and 4. Down on the inside, there's the 14 of Daniel Scruggs. No help from his teammates anywhere to be seen. His teammates are the 54 and the 42 as they're stuck back in traffic a little bit back there on the high side as well. Got the 94 and the 98. I'm trying to figure out where they're at. They're a little farther back, but they're also in a position to help one another if they can. It's going to be interesting to see how these teams play out as we've got the 51 in the middle. Not sure what team that 51's on, but he is putting it 3 wide with the 22 in the middle. Now the 22 ends up down on the bottom side. That is the 22/87 of Jamie with the 03 of Rick Schneider getting a little loose in front of him as they push there on the inside lane. Looks like Freedom United is going to stay together on the high side. I don't know if Freedom United is going to break apart from one another unless forced to. The 51 machine of Josh Previtt is going to try to get squeezed up through the middle. Using the side draft from both lanes, they pull himself forward if he can, as he's right now right there in that sucker hole in the middle. On the high side, you still got the 77 of Travis, followed by his teammates Alex and the 66 of Robertson. Now, Daniel Scruggs is still your leader with the 51 of Josh Previtt there coming on the outside lane as he pulled through the middle and got in front of that outside lane, working down in the corner number 1 and 2, side by side as they come onto the backstretch. Drag racing down the backstretch as it were. Lap 42 behind her. Looks like we got the 69 blinking in and out a little bit with the 25 DuPont car right there in front of him. 69 is going to push it 3 wide. I don't know if that's a bright idea with the problems he's been having with his connection here this evening. As the 17 drops back, that's going to push him up into the 7-7. Travis with the 5/25, squeezing his way through the field there on the bottom side now. Right behind him is Brett Bray, on the inside, right behind the 5 of Michael Willett. Gotta learn some of these names. It might be Michael Wiley. I gotta figure that out. As we go down the backstretch into corner number 3, side by side they stay. As the 51 of Josh Previtt is trying to get that outside line to push him along for that first position as they come out of 4 down into the tri-oval, the 69 up on the high side. Slicing and dicing are some of these drivers. As we got problems, the 00 gets tagged by the 42, and he spun around, and now we got big problems up front as it collects the field in calamity here on lap 44 here at Daytona. So there's the 00. He was part of the first problem with the 42. And I think the 42 may be a little stuck there. We'll see if we can get it unstuck now. Josh Cole involved. Joe Tardif got one tracking a little bit to the right side of the car going down the backstretch. That is the 54 of Lawrence. So yellow flag comes back out again for this one, as they are all pushing up front. There you see the 51 come down a little late on the block, gets turned by the 14, and they both end up getting on the apron, shooting back up towards the racetrack. The 3 gets into him. There's the 69 going under the 3, gets caught up with the 51. Everybody stacks up there on the outside wall. There's 14 going through the air. There's the 69 getting picked up. More cars involved. We've got the 94 sneaking through on the bottom. Just not quite get there, I don't think. Might have some contact with the 69 as he gets airborne coming through the infield grass off of 2. There's the 51 up high. There's the 98 of Danny Puddin involved. There's the 69 of Wicks. Drifting it through the infield. Another tough break for some of these drivers who are just trying to find a way to finish this race out here on lap 44 out of 100. And now everybody's coming to pit road, it seems. As you see everybody come in. The 5 is a little bit crooked in his box. We'll have to see how that plays out, if he can get that thing turned around in his box. Pit stop problems there for the 5. 77 wins the race off the pit road with Rick Schneider right behind him. Like I said, everybody came to pit road. Pit road's a very busy place at the moment. Everybody getting down and away here in the Arca Series, presented by Friggy Diggy and Keep Digging. Again, if you're purchasing from Keep Digging, make sure to use the checkout code of Friggy Diggy to get 10% off. Woo! Lights still on the pace car. As everybody's getting lined back up. Lights are out. Everybody's going to go side by side now. As Travis is your race leader with Rick Schneider on the outside. These two have been really trying to fight their way to hold on to that front row. But you keep an eye on that 14 of Daniel Scruggs. He's been showing off here. And also that 69 has been squeezing through as well. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching Quaker Farm TV on the pole here this evening as we bring you the Friggy Diggy Arca Series presented by the Friggy Diggy Racing League. About 03 on the outside is Rick Schneider. And then we got Travis on the inside, and that cat number 77 with a 69, Jaden Wicks behind him. The 14 of Daniel Scruggs on the outside, kind of laying back a little bit on this restart. Here he comes now. They're starting to tighten up as they come towards the tri-oval. Not sure if that's going to help them, though, as that pace car is going to end up pulling off. The outside lane is not quite as tight as that inside lane. That inside lane is going to get a better restart, as you'll watch. As they come through the tri-oval, they touch. The 03 getting into the 69 down there on the inside has to end up coming back towards the top. 66 dives down to the bottom. Right behind the 48. Green flag is out. And now the 14 drops to the bottom. Low side lane trying to come together. as the 66 or 69 is still blinking in and out. Hopefully nobody gets too close to him, as that could present some net code issues as we get cars scattering all over the place here on the backstretch. Side by side down in the corner, number 3 and 4, and we got the 66 going around. It's going to stay green. Alex Taylor, I think, got into the 66 there. Brian Robertson, that's going to be that's not quite what Robertson wanted to see happen there. He didn't want to be spun around like a top, but we are side by side up here at the front with Rick Schneider and Travis up here at the front battling side by side. That's 69 of Jaden Wicks up here on that high side as well. The 14 down here on the low side of Daniel Scruggs. 70 Travis now jumps to the inside. Rick there behind him, trying to push each other towards the front here. 49, we are a lap away from halfway. When they cross the stripe this time, we are a lap away from halfway in the Friggy Diggy Arca Series Race 1 of the season here at Daytona. So Jaden Wicks out there on that outside. A lot of great driving going on from these drivers. Just got to settle in. Still a lot of race left to go. As you see the 5/25 there on the inside, Michael Wiley right behind the 1 of Joe Tardif. There goes the 75, jumping up to the outside lane. That is the 75 of Waylon McConnell. Jaden Wicks still having some connection issues, it does seem, as he's blinking in and out there on that outside lane. That's going to make it tough for these drivers to try to find a run by him as they come down into corner number 1 again after going through the trioval. We are halfway through the Friggy Diggy Arca Series race here tonight. Rick Schneider there in second in that 03 School Machine. Had a great run in practice. Getting up there, tagging at 69. That 69 still out there. And he's now up there to the bumper of the 77 on that inside lane. That inside lane really pushing hard as they come out of corner number 4. Here heading towards that trioval. 77 opened the bottom for a split second, but slammed it shut right in front of the 03. The good heads up there on the 03 to kind of lift the throttle just enough to let him come back down without causing any big issues. Turn number 1, side by side as they come through corner number 2. There's the 94 working his way back up through the field. That's the 94 of Christopher Pendle. On the high side there behind the number 21 of Joseph Thomas. I know the 94's kind of had an up and down days. He struggled towards the front, towards the back. And he's back up here towards the mid-pack, trying to work his way back up towards the front. Jane Wicks still out there on that high side, battling it out. Joe Tardif, he's also another one that had kind of an up and down day, as he's back here in the 7th position. Daniel Scruggs, so far our biggest mover besides Joe Tardif, as they're both up 12 positions on the day. One of our more problematic drivers, unfortunately, is our pole sitter of Alex. He started on the pole and is back here in 17th position. So he's lost quite a bit of ground today as these drivers are battling it out. We got a lap car up here in front that looks to be the 54 of Chris Lawrence. Going to have to find where to go, as they're anywhere between 2 to 3 wide, depending on what lane the drivers want to be in. And they are coming fast and in a hurry. So there he goes. He dropped to the inside. Bright move there on his part to let this lead pack go by. who's pushing really hard, trying to make some last-minute preparations to try to get into some sort of position before them last few laps come about. As we see the little zero there kind of swiping up and down a little bit. Not quite the movement you want to see out of Terry Fennell, who's currently running third. There you see the 98 as a lap machine as well. He pulled wisely to the apron, letting the lead pack around as well. That's the 98 of Danny Puddin. So unfortunate break for those drivers as this one's starting to wind down some. Side-by-side racing still going on up here towards the front and on through 3 and 4. It is this Travis leading. Jaden Wicks there in second. Terry Fennell third. Rick Schneider in fourth. And Daniel Scruggs in sixth now. Got passed on the low side there by... I'm sorry, on the high side by the 21 of Joseph Thomas, as the top side is trying to come together. Looks like we've got the 00 testing the waters for that third lane, clear up there against the wall. Not sure if he's found something he likes yet or not, as they are down the backstretch, drag racing yet again. Side by side, no one really is pushing like they were, nor are, looks like everybody's kind of settled down and settled in, as we're on lap 56 out of 100. Closing in slowly on our goal of 100 laps here this evening. Side by side, they stay coming through the trioval. The 94 now up to 8th position. I'm sorry, 9th position on the scoreboard. As we see everybody still jockeying for position back here towards the back. You can see that 14's back there behind Rick Schneider in the 03. I'll get these numbers figured out as the season goes on. It takes me a little bit, because believe it or not, I'm doing this one monitor with one eye. So it takes a little bit for me to scan everything and get the correct information out to you viewers. So I am grateful for all you viewers that are patient with me and still allow me to put on a great show to bring you everything I can. As we see Travis out there in front, Rick Schneider there in second with the 14. Daniel Scruggs bringing up third, but he's got a battle on his hand on that outside lane coming from the likes of the 69 Jaden Wicks. Right behind him is that National Guard machine of Terry Fennell on the outside as well. That outside lane is kind of falling apart. Everybody's down there on the inside. Nobody's really wanting to help that 69, and I'm wondering if part of that's due to his little bit of connection issue, him blinking in and out here this evening as you can kind of watch. That's one thing that these drivers watch for on iRacing is what we call the blinkers, and the 69 unfortunately is one of those as it stands at the moment. Hopefully no netcode issues with that as they head down towards the trioval once again. Crossing the stripe, making it lap 60 of 100. I'm sorry, lap 59 of 100. Joe Tardip there in the number 1. He's had a pretty decent race going for him throughout tonight, along with a bunch of these other drivers. I know we've seen the likes of Waylon McConnell trying to work his way up towards the front. Look at the way those drivers are weaving back and forth. That can also spell disaster for some of them. As we see the 94 now up to 6th position, 3rd spot on that outside lane. As the 77 of Travis is back to the lead. We've got the help of Rick Schneider there on the inside. For the time being, the 14 trying to get up there. I do not see any of his teammates up here towards the front though. In the way of the 66 way back, and the 17, unfortunately 17 is also in the back. So the Travis has to win this on his own. He doesn't have help from his teammates that he had before. Side by side, lap 60 on the mark right now. And at 69, Jaden Wicks still fighting hard on that outside lane. As he's got the, I'm trying to figure it out here. He's got the 94, but that's the 21 between him and the 94. So we got the 69, the 21, and the 94 all on that top side lane. Bringing up with them the 79. As the 69 gets down to the inside, there you see we passed the 66. So unfortunately 66 is now a lap down as the 98 is spun through the infield as he was getting out of the way. I think he caught the apron wrong and just ended up spinning it down through the infield. That was the 98 of Danny Puddin. As now we see a little blink coming out of the 75. Here comes the 14 to pit road. It looks like the 00 is coming into pit road. Terry Fennell, Mike Wiley, Jamie, Daniel Scruggs, all on pit road right now. So that is the BFR team hitting pit road at the moment. With the number 14. Side by side down the backstretch. Through 3 and 4, the 69 trying to command that lead off of that high side. He's got the 94 of Chris Pendle there behind him. Doing all he can to push that 69 best he can. As Jaden Wicks will lead that lap. As you see some drivers there on that inside lane. Green flag run here. Last thing those drivers want now is a caution. As drivers are going to start to make their green flag runs. As you see the 14 driving down, dipping down off the back stretch. Isaac Brook and the 48's in the pits. Still battling up here towards the front. We've got a couple blinks out of the 03 now as they ducked into the pit road. So that lead pack thinning out a little bit. We got Jaden Wicks, Travis, and Rick Schneider all coming in. We also got Ryan Robertson. He's also in. You can see the pit stops there on the bottom of the screen. If you can figure out the last three initials, the last three starting initials of the driver's name, that is how they go by on the bottom. So STR number in the 9th position, that is Travis. And then we got in 20th position, that is Chris Lawrence. Robertson's there in pit road, as you see. Cardiff now in. Thomas in. Pendle in. Along with Tardip and Bray. So we're cycling through green flag pit stops here. And looks to be the only one that hasn't pitted yet will be your leader right now of the 75 of Whalen, but I think he's coming in the pit road now. So that's going to hand the lead over to Josh Trevitt out here all by his lonesome, so he's not going to be able to hold that for long, as we got a few other drivers of Joe Tardif, Brett Bray, and here comes, on the high side above them, here comes some more of the pack. That is Jaden Wicks, Rick Schneider, and Travis all making their way up here. Looks like Josh is in for his pit stop. Lap 66 of 100 is what we're currently working on as they climb the banking down through 1 and 2 yet again. Whalen still showing him as the leader. That's going to be interesting to see. He pitted at lap 65. There comes the pack. So then Whalen play his cards right and be out front. As it looks like we got the 98 going to the inside again, getting out of all the leaders' ways. And we got a huge pack storming down. Big time on Whalen as he comes across the stripe to take lap 67. They got to be careful. They got to kind of check up a little bit and pick him up there on that inside lane. As they got a little bit more steam coming forth. So that's going to help that outside lane out. And Whalen gets back into the battle right here. Currently sitting in third place as they come across the line, I believe, unless Josh Cole holds on to it out there on that outside lane. Which it will be Josh Cole. I'm sorry, that was Joe Tardif holding on to it. As now the 75 moves up to second position out of 2 with that inside lane doing all it can, only having 3 cars. That outside lane has 5. I'm surprised that inside lane is pushing along as well as it is, considering the outside lane's got the momentum and more cars, but they have broken apart now. Now the back 2 drop to the inside lane as they see that the inside lane's got the momentum. We got another lap car. That looks to be the 94 of Chris Pendle. Let's see as they get up here. Maybe see if I am correct on that. But that is unfortunate. Some of these drivers that end up hitting by themselves just don't have the teammates to bring them back up to the pack. So they end up going a lap down. As you see here, that is the 94 of Christopher Pendle dropping a lap here late in the going here as we're kind of coming around the lap. Number 70 on the books. Be 30 laps to go as McConnell there blinks out just a shade. The 03 of Rick Schneider out front for another time today. Rick Schneider is going to lead that lap. Side by side going towards corner number 1 as the pack has regrouped after its pit stops. I think Isaac Brook is the last car on the lead lap. He's back here on the backstretch all by his lonesome. That's not going to bear well whenever we got this high-speed pack all together, side by side as they go down the backstretch. Somebody's down below that yellow line, dropping a position to get back in line. Trying to see who that might have been. That looks to be, is that the fit? Nope, that's... Right here, we got a smaller pack here of about 6 cars. Trying just to stay ahead of the leader some. Not exactly sure who that was back there. Or who is back there. As we got the 77. Danny Puddin ended up off track. Problems there for Danny as he is now down in the pits. That's the 98 machine. Problem for him. He might be just calling it done here this evening. Side by side for the lead, though, between Whalen and Rick Schneider as we come off of turn 4, heading towards that tri-oval. Still trying to figure out who's back behind the 94. 43, that is the 43 of Josh Cole. So he's the last car in this pack. Rest of the cars are back in another pack because they're coming through the tri-oval now. Down the backstretch, this main pack goes, still battling it out. Side by side, down into corner number 3 they go. 75 of Whalen out there on the outside lane. Rick Schneider there on the inside with Joe Cardiff on that second position. He so far is your biggest mover, up 17 spots in that number one machine. Had some problems at the start, but got it together. Now he's up here battling for the lead as we are down to 28 laps to go. We're somewhere thereabouts as we are working on lap 73. The 75 of Whalen way up high, 3 wide. That's going to spell trouble if they don't get it single filed out, as the 48 is up on the high side of the racetrack. There they go. They got it figured out. They are going to work around it. That's going to bring Joe Cardiff up to the lead on that outside lane. Right behind him, though, is that 77 of Travis. Jaden Wicks in the 69 there on the inside lane. Second car back behind the 03 of Rick Schneider, as everybody's still battling it hard for the lead position as we are working on lap 74 down in the corner number 1. Side by side, 2 by 2 as they come off a 2 onto the backstretch. Terry Fennell, Joe Thomas, Jamie all off track. Yellow flag is out. So this happened in that second pack of cars. Everybody just trying to mind their own business. Looks like the 22 just gets under the 00, collects the 21 of Thomas Berry. The 22, that is the 25 of Michael Willie. It happened behind him. Trying to figure out that. Okay, that's the 87-22 of Jamie, as he ends up getting underneath the 00 of Terry Fennell. Brings it back on track. That's what will bring out the caution, is him bring it as it's sliding back up on track into the lanes of traffic. So we're underneath yet another caution here. Now it's strategy time. Do you come in for another set of tires if you have them? Or do you gamble for that track position and stay out? Looks like we've got the 42 looking in. Looks like the one's coming in. Looks like the pack is coming in here with 25 laps to go here at Daytona. Not everybody's coming in, though. I think Joseph Thomas stayed out, along with Josh Previtt. Oh, no, they haven't got to pit road yet. Here they come. So everybody's coming in. Alex stays out. Same with the 66 of Robertson. And Chris Pendle, we'll see what he does as he's coming around the triangle now. See if Pendle comes in or if he stays out as he's coming down the backstretch. Looks like he's going to make pit stop. So Alex, Keeley, and Robertson did not pit. But they could be a lap down, hoping to get their lap back. So they might get waved around the pace car, and that'll bring the lead to Rick Schneider. And to his outside is going to be Jaden Wicks. So this is the 7th caution with 25 laps to go here at Daytona, as we bring you the Friggy Diggy Racing League ARCA Series. Still got a couple more coming into pit road. That's Waylon McConnell coming in. And as I thought, the 17 and the 66 both get waved around the pace car. They're going to get back on the lead lap. That's going to hand the lead over to Rick Schneider and Jaden Wicks on the outside. Everybody lines up, double foul, lights are out. We will be green flag racing again. Hopefully we can keep it green to the finish. And if anybody knows the plate racing or Daytona Super Speedway racing, 24 laps is quite a ways to go, especially when you're looking at just under a little bit under a minute a lap. So it's quite a ways to go. As they are side by side. Seventh caution of the race. Pace car is off. We're about to go green. And we know that 03 and that 1 on the bottom side really can get it rolling here on the restarts. As there you see it down on that inside lane. 03 gets out front, brings that 1 with him. The 69 has no help yet out there on that outside lane. As the 1 tries to get tucked back up under the 03 as the 69 drops to the inside. And the 42 gets into the back of the 69. We have problems. Do they keep it green? They will. As Jaden Wicks and the 42 stay on the bottom edge of the racetrack, allowing everybody to come around. That was a close one. Down in the corner number 3, it is the 77 of Travis now out front. With the number 1 behind him. Here comes the 25/5 of Michael Wiley there in that 3rd position on that outside lane. Everybody's still slicing and dicing here in this front pack. Side by side as it rolls through the trioval out toward corner number 1. The 1 takes the lead going into 1. But here comes the 77 of Travis. He's going to battle back on the inside lane. He's got Rick Schneider there pushing him along with the 14 of Daniel Scruggs. Out on the outside, you've got Joe Cardiff pushed along by Mike Wiley and the 51, Josh Previtt. 22 laps to go here at Daytona. Who's going to come out on top? You might want to start thinking about it now. Do we think we're going to have another caution, or do we think we can run it green? I personally hope we can run it green and bring you some exciting racing. As we have the 77 out front for another time with the 03 of Rick Schneider right behind him in that school machine. Joe Tardif out on the outside. Side by side as they go through corner number 2. All but the front 2 cars are side by side in this front pack. In that backpack, though, we have it spread out as it looks like the 77 and the 66 are trying to battle us out in that second pack. I don't think they really want to be racing one another as much as they are, as this front pack is definitely putting some distance as they got more cars pacing down that lead. Side by side, they all are as they're rocking and rolling. 20 laps to go. As we are under caution again, most definitely as the 14 and the 5 get together. Looks like we got the 42 or 43 involved as well. So 14 comes up, takes the 5. They come back down the racetrack, collect the 43 somehow, whereas the 43 get tagged from behind. Aha! 43 gets tagged from behind and ends up getting up in the air and when loses all that traction. Unfortunate there for him as the 75 squeezes through underneath the 25-5 machine. So that'll bring out our 8th caution here at with 19 to go. So that may be a blessing in disguise for drivers like Robertson and Tilley. Tilley, we know, had a strong car early on in this race, had some problems somewhere along the line, ended up a lap down. Now he's back up here to 9th. He was our pole sitter, had some struggles throughout the day. Here he is back on the lead lap, hoping to make something come of it. And he's running around trying to catch the pack. I do not think we're going to see too many of the lead lap pack pit, as it is 19 laps to go. I see Daniel Scruggs pitted, Michael Wiley there pitted. Jamie's still sitting in the pits. As I suspected. Oh, surprisingly. Everybody's coming in. Not unsure what that 42 was doing. Well, that took me for a little bit of a shock since, I wasn't expecting that. That's going to bring the 54 up to the pace car. It's going to get a lap back. So our 8th caution of the evening. We once again want to thank everybody for coming out watching. We also want to keep giving our shout out to our league sponsors, 1% Designs and Keep Digging. Again, if you go to Keep Digging's website and you are making some purchases, please make sure to use your Friggy Diggy discount code of Friggy Diggy at checkout to get 10% off. Lights are out. They're going to double up side by side yet again. "17 laps to go here at the Friggy Diggy Racing League ARCA Series here this evening. Pace cars getting ready to pull off. We will be set to rock and roll once again. Still have this battle up front between Travis and Rick, along with Joe Tardif. It's going to be interesting to see how this race progresses here as the laps are winding down, as we hit 16 laps to go, as they take the green flag heading down into corner number 1, getting ready to climb that banking one more time again as they head down here, as we got the 51 of Josh Previtt trying to push along the 03 there on the inside. There's the 94 who's had an up and down day. Now he's up here battling for a podium position as it is right now. Up the banking they go through 3 and 4 side by side. There you see the 48 who's had an up and down day as they come out onto the tri-oval area side by side. It's going to be 03 currently still leading at 15 laps to go here at Daytona. Down in the corner number 1, you've got the 51 still pushing Rick Schneider. And then on the outside lane, you got Travis and Christopher Pendle Christopher Pendle's on the inside lane. You got Rick Schneider and the 1 of Joe Tardif out there on that outside lane, trying to push their way up towards the front, but that inside lane still going strong. You see how much room there is between the 51 and 94. There is not much there as they come through 3 and 4 onto the back stretch. Down in through 3 and 4 onto the tri-oval area here at Daytona, and it looks to be the 03 pulling out just by a little bit down there on that bottom side with the high side there of Travis, and out into corner number 1, 3 wide with the 69 up top into that outside wall, keeps it up there, letting the cars go by on the low side. Here we go, the 48 there in the 3rd position on that outside lane. He's had an up and down day, as well as that 1. The 1 is up 16 positions on the day. 43 of Josh Cole, he's up 10 spots on the day. Some of our bad luck contenders are Jamie and let's see here. Alex Tilley is down 9 spots from starting on pole. Ryan Robertson, he's down 9 spots. But up front, the moves are still going on with Joe Tardif, Josh Previtt, Travis and Rick Schneider as they come through, taking down to 13 laps to go into corner number 1. Side by side they still go. On to the backstretch. Here comes the 17 of Alex Tilley. He's trying to move up through the middle lane, as he's got that middle lane working for him at the moment, but the front pack closes them off. 21's got to be careful he don't get too squirrely and up on that apron and come back up in front of the 17, as the 17 gets squeezed down into that inside lane now. As he's trying to work his way up through the pack, we're going 3 wide down into corner number 1. as we have the 48 out on the high side, trying to get that outside lane rolling. There you see, 3 wide, 2 rows, 3 rows deep, coming out of 2. Buckle them seatbelts, it's going to get crazy. Side by side, 3 wide, 3 rows deep, coming down the backstretch, heading for corner number 3. Hopefully everybody keeps it together. And you see him working out of 2, or I'm sorry, working out of 4. Side by side they go. We got the 43 of Josh Cole up in that outside wall again. As now it's only 3 wide in that 1 row, fighting for the lead. Alex Tilley sitting there in that middle lane, sitting in 7th position, 6th or 7th position, depending on how they cross the line. The 48 is hung out to dry out there on that high side. All the cars are moving to the inside 2 lanes to go around the 48. Travis out front with Joe Tardif right behind him, giving him the push that he needs. But here on the inside comes the 51 and the 03. They're still trying to make something happen. Alex, though, doing a great job after the day he's had, being a lap down. And now up here contending for the lead here with 10 laps to go. Yeah, now the 1 gets loose. Ends up coming across the bumper of the 1. I'm sorry, after the 17. Everybody collects it back up and we stay green. That scattered the field a little bit. That's not going to hurt them as they start coming back through the backstretch here. 17 goes to the outside. He's going to try to pull along the 43 of Josh Cole. The 48 of Isaac Brook out there on the outside lane as well. He's going up to the high side. He's going to take that high side. Here comes the 17. He's getting behind Travis. He knows Travis is a strong car. If he can just get up there, the 2 of them work together now on that high side lane, they may be able to push their way to the front with Josh Cole right there behind him on that outside lane. The inside lane, we got the 03 of Rick Schneider, the 51 of Josh Previtt, and the 94 of Christopher Pendle. Sorry, it took me a moment to find it there in my list. As we're side by side roaring down the backstretch, 9 laps to go here at Daytona. Who's going to come out on top? Which lane's going to prevail the best? Outside lane or inside lane? As they come out of 4 side by side. Alex Tilley up there on the outside lane, giving Travis the push he needs to get across that line first. That's going to put him in 3rd position currently as they come across the stripe. 8 laps to go here in the Friggy Diggy Arca Series. Race 1 of the season. Had some issues here and there throughout the race, but looks like we've got a great race happening now as we're on board with Alex Tilley in that number 17 on the outside lane as they come down the backstretch. Side by side as Rick is there on the inside lane, still trying to battle hard. And it might be too much as now Alex up in that outside wall. We got calamity happening, and oh no, everybody is getting involved. I don't know if there's a clear car that got out of that. Caution with 8 laps to go. You knew something was brewing. As we see that a 48 getting into the back of the 43. These cars turn so easily whenever you get up underneath them like that. And then the 54 getting up underneath the 21. There you see the 51 coming up into the 17. Comes down, side swipes to 00. I'm hoping the 17's okay to still be running. He's had a tough day today. The 03 of Rick Schneider, I think he come out okay. The 5 of Michael Wiley, I think he's okay, but he's still a lap down, so that's not going to do him too much good. As we have another caution here at Daytona this evening. So that's going to bring our total up to 9. 6 laps to go here at Daytona. We see the likes of Alex Tilley there in the 8th position. Christopher Pendle now is your leader in that number 94, with Joe Tardif in behind that. So this really shook up the field, as we see the likes of Rick Schneider, Travis, and Alex Tilley came in as well, along with Waylon McConnell. They all came in for pit stops there on lap 94. Again, if you're going to go and check out Keep Diggin', make sure you use your discount code of Friggy Diggy at the checkout and get your 10% off. They are side-by-side racing once again, lined up side by side. 5 laps to go. Will be 4 laps to go when they take the green flag. Lights are out. We got a little blink out of the 69 again. Up there on that high side, that is Jaden Wicks. He's been having a pretty decent day despite having those blinking issues. There you see third car back on that inside row. That is Travis. The one of Joe Tardif has had a great day as well. Starting towards the back, he's up 18 positions on the day. Joe Tardif there in second. There on his, on the inside of Joe Tardif is Christopher Pendle in that number 94, who's had an up and down day. Brett Bray is now back in the mix as well, down there on the inside. I didn't really catch that before, but Brett Bray is there, getting ready to battle it out as well for podium position as this race gets back under green, as they're slowly rolling out of 4. Side by side down the front stretch. There we go. Cross that line. 4 laps to go. It is Christopher Pendle out front, out there getting the lead. As they get off to the restart, here comes Brett Bray now, down there on the inside as well, bringing with him the 77 of Travis. Out on that high side, it's Joe Tardif trying to get that outside lane to work together, but the momentum seems to be on that inside lane at the moment. 69 disappeared for a moment, but he's back now. Now the outside lane's coming together. Careful, guys. Don't want to get underneath, as the Brett Bray has an issue there. Gets a little squirrely. Now he's in the lead. Comes down across the nose of the 77. There in second spot. Travis there in second. Joe Tardif there in fourth. Joe's still trying to get that outside lane to work. And now we're getting a side-by-side battle here with Bray and Travis. Down into corner number 1 they go. We know that 94 is a strong car to be running up here after the problems he's had. Side by side, battling here, almost 3 wide. If they weren't careful there, Joe would have taken the 3 wide, I'm sure, coming off of corner number 2. Down the backstretch they go. Joe's still looking to that outside. That inside lane still bunched up, trying to make it happen. Brett Bray still out front now. 3 to go. Side by side. 75 of Waylon McConnell. He's another driver that's kind of been up and down through the pack today. But up here now towards the finish. Joe Tardif, what an excellent day for him. Starting in the back. I think he might have had to start from pit road. That early caution helped bring him back out onto the lead lap. Now he's back up here battling for that for a front podium position. Everybody's side by side. Joe's looking to the middle. No, oh no, we got trouble on the backstretch. Caution is out. We're going to have a green-white checker. So the 17 tries to block, or does he get a bad push off of the 1? Let's try to see if we can get a different angle here. Trying to get a better angle for this. So as we come down the backstretch, looks like the 17 comes down, might get some help being turned from the 1. But we also see back in the pack, the 03 getting turned there from the 43, the 75 facing the wrong direction again. As looks, I think the 51 ended up getting under him. The 17 getting nudged once again. I think he's going to end up getting into the outside wall. Tough race day for Alex Tilley. As now Joe Tardif goes to the lead. Still some shaking and baking going on. Still unsure who's going to be your race winner here this evening. As we got Joe, like I said, we got Joe Tardif out there in front. On the outside goes the 00. Getting a wave around. That is the Terry Fennell. So we've got 10 cautions on today here at Daytona. Hopefully we get no more. Hopefully we can finish this out with our green-white checker. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in here on the Pole, brought to you by Fleeger Farm TV. I definitely have some thoughts processed in my mind to make myself look a little better, a little bit more professional, but I need somebody with videography help to do so. All right. Now the backstretch. Here they come. Side by side. Well, lights are still on the pace car. Do we have any takers for pit road this time? It does look like we got Alex Tilley in. Joseph Thomas came in. Waylon McConnell came in. And Jamie's still sitting on pit road. I think Jamie's day is done. And that number 87 machine there on your scoreboard. So we've definitely weaned out a bunch of drivers in this one. Alex Tilley coming back out on track. That one had a little bit of right front damage. How bad is that going to hurt him to be out front? We'll have to see. As it looked to be, that 51 also had a little bit of damage on its front end. Or it's just the way I'm looking at it. I guess it's just the way I'm, well. Yeah, it's just the way I'm looking at it. That paint scheme throws my eyes off. Thought he had damage, but he doesn't. Still anybody's race as we are double file back up, coming out of turn number 2. Pace car is off. Green, white checker on the books here at Daytona, or overtime for the Friggy Diggy Arca series as they are down in the way. Looks like that one up Tardif gets off to a decent start despite having that front nose damage. He's got the 51 for Josh Previtt there behind him, pushing him along, but I think that nose damage is going to come into play here in a little bit as the 94 gets a great run on the outside. And we got another caution, I believe, as the 75 goes up the racetrack. That is Waylon McConnell. Gets it down on the racetrack. He is done and out of this one, so he is out of the way. We are going to stay green. Tough break for him, as now we're down the backstretch side by side again. We got the 69 of Wicks. Tardif has fallen back in the 4th position. Like I said, I thought that nose damage may have a problem as we are side by side getting ready to take the white flag in the air here for the Arca series brought to you by the Friggy Diggy Racing League. Side by side, we still got them trying to battle it out. There you see the 69 to 51 side by side. The 51 pushing, or the 1 pushing all he can to get into that top spot, but I just don't know if that position's going to hold off as he shakes and jukes. There we go, 3 wide now, heading into corner number 3. 1 problems. The whole field stacks up coming out of 4. That's going to pretty much almost hand Tardif the win. Brett Bray looks to be rolling along here. He's going to come out in 3rd. Josh Cole in 2nd, possibly. What a wild finish here in this one. Now you see it, everybody just stacks up the 99. You see the 66 there on the bottom trying to squeeze through. Everybody's just piled in on that high side. Nowhere really to go. Tough break for our pole sitter, the 17 of Alex Tilley, as he's going to roll along, and he's going to actually come out in 5th, I believe, if my eyes aren't deceiving me. Tough break. Definitely some work to do to get these cars back in running order after the day they've had. But there you see it. Cars inside one another. Problems everywhere. .51 gets turned, smacks the wall, gets pushed up into there. You see a couple of them disappearing because of all the neck code issues that are going on. And I think that a lot of that is caused by that 69 that's right there in the middle of all that. You can kind of see how everybody's driving through him. It bounces off one another. I think that's where most of the problem lies. Let's back this up and just check it one more time. I believe that is where the problems even start. Take a look here on the outside lane. Watch that 69. Gets a little bit of tip from the one, ends up getting turned a little bit. Everybody just stacks in there on that outside lane. Tough break there for a lot of these drivers who were running so well today. But it's going to hand the win over to Joe Tardif. And Josh Cole coming in second. We'll take a look at our standings here as we finish up the night. Oh, that's grid. Here we go. Our final results for the evening are Joe Tardif, they're in first, Josh Cole in second, Brett Bray in third, Joseph Thomas fourth, Rick Schneider in fifth, Michael Wiley there in sixth, Travis in seventh, Alex Tilley there eighth, Jaden Wicks in ninth, Christopher Pendle there in 10th, Josh Previtt there in 11th, Waylon McConnell there in 12th. In 13th is Ryan Robertson. Isaac Brook finishes 14th. Terry Fennell there in 15th. Daniel Scruggs finishes tonight in 16th. Chris Lawrence finishes 17th. 18th goes to Christopher Puglis. 19th, Jamie Stevens. And in 20th goes Danny Salzgaber. Matthew Semple will round out there in 21st. So I hope everybody's enjoyed the race tonight. We are going to get to Victory Lane now and get to our interviews. If we can just simply get there, we'll see how this goes here. Brett Bray, I know your mic's muted at the moment, but you want to come in here for your interview? Can you hear me okay? Brett Bray, can you hear me? Huh. Interesting, I can't hear him. Can you hear me now, Brett? Oh. As Brett's working on his mic here, we'll see if we can pull in our second place driver, or second place winner of Josh Cole. But I don't see Josh Cole anywhere. And Joe Tardif. Don't see him anywhere either. Well, alrighty. Well, we'll work on that for next week, hopefully. Brett, I'm not sure what's going on with your mic. I can't hear. I don't know if you need to disconnect and reconnect to the broadcast channel. I don't know. But I want to thank everybody for coming out, joining us here for the starting of the season for the Friggy Diggy Racing League and their Arca series here on Sunday nights, presented by Keep Digging. And remember, if you visit Keep Digging, use the promo code Friggy Diggy to get your 10% off, along with 1% Designs joining us as well for a great league sponsor. Was really hoping Brett would have his mic figured out here so we can understand what kind of went wrong there at the end of that race. Well, we'll try to work on that for next week. But for tonight, we're going to go ahead and sign off here on Figure Farm TV on the poll. Thank you for watching. This was a great production tonight. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Join us again. Like I said, we normally have the Roughneck Racing tomorrow night, but I have other obligations I have to take care of, so I will not be able to produce that. I will be back on Wednesday bringing you guys the Hi Mom Lens Super Dirt Series from Lernerville for the Tri-Track Modified Series. Until then, have a great night, and we'll see you Wednesday here on Figure Farm TV.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagner Welding. Wagner Welding is a family-owned and operated business